Welcome to Celestial Astrology. I'm Sonia, your host, and this is an Astro Mindfulness meditation for the decan of Capricorn 1. Astro Mindfulness invites us to experience astrology through mindful awareness by bringing together the breath, the living world, and the ancient symbolism of the heavens. We begin to encounter astrology as something to experience. In this recording, we enter the first decan of Capricorn, where small, thoughtful actions become the foundations of something that can endure in our lives. You may have planets or angles here, or perhaps you're moving through a Capricorn season in your own life with a transit. This meditation is intended to be timeless, so you can return to it whenever you need to build strong foundations in your life, or whenever you simply feel drawn to this practice. I'd like to invite you now to settle yourself into a comfortable position. You may wish to sit with both feet resting and connected with the ground. You may prefer to lie down and allow your body to be fully supported, or perhaps you're walking slowly, allowing your footsteps to settle into an easy rhythm. When you're comfortable, and if it's safe to do so, gently close your eyes, or perhaps you prefer to just soften your gaze. And as you settle into the stillness of the present moment, remember that there's nothing to achieve for the next little while that we spend together. There's only this moment. You begin by noticing your breathing. There's no need to change it in any way. You're just noticing its natural rhythm. Perhaps becoming aware of the coolness of each inhale and the gentle warmth of each exhale. Whenever your thoughts wander, as they will do, gently return again to your breathing. And every time you return, you're already practicing mindfulness. Now gently and slowly shift your awareness to your body. Notice where it's meeting the chair or the floor, the earth beneath your feet that supports you. With every exhale, begin to release the tension that you've been holding from your day, your week, your month. You can release it now. You don't need it anymore. Allow your jaw to relax. Let your shoulders soften. Are you holding tension in your hands? See if you can release any effort that you're no longer needing to hold. Scan down your body and see if you can notice any pockets of tension. And then as you exhale, just gradually release it. Remember that you have this steady support of the earth beneath you. Return your awareness to your breathing and notice if there's one place that you feel the intensity of your breath more than any other place. Maybe it's at the tip of your nose or the back of your throat. Maybe it's further down into your chest, into your heart center or your lungs, or even further down your diaphragm and your stomach. This place is personal to you. There's no right place. But in mindfulness, we call this place your mindful anchor. Bring your attention now to just breathing in and out of this one place, your mindful anchor. Your mindful anchor is always with you. You don't need to remember to take it with you when you leave your home. You always have your breath, your breathing, and your mindful anchor. And so if ever you need to take a couple of minutes to yourself, you can just breathe into your mindful anchor. It doesn't matter if there's people around you, busyness, noise. You can just breathe into your mindful anchor, and the more you practice this, the more your body will know what to do. As your breathing has been settling, have you noticed the pace of your day beginning to change? Perhaps the demands of the clock have grown a little bit quieter and another rhythm has been slowly emerging. We're moving into a rhythm of winter now, the season when the living world draws its energy inwards. Growth may not always be visible, but the roots are continuing their quiet work beneath the frozen ground. This is sacred time, a rhythm measured not by hours, but by seasons. Rest your awareness here for a moment. As you become aware of a contemplation, you're visualizing a walled garden around you. It looks like it has stood here for many, many generations. The low winter sun is resting gently across the old stone walls. And yet you can see frost lingering in some shaded corners. Many of the beds seem to be lying at rest beneath a covering of mulch, protecting the soil through the cold months. But you can still see some evergreen herbs continuing to offer their quiet presence. Perhaps you recognize rosemary, sage, or thyme. Spend a little while just acclimatizing yourself and looking around this beautiful garden. Your eyes are drawn to the bare branches of old apple trees, and they're revealing their graceful structure against the winter sky. Your senses are beginning to become familiar with this place. You sense the air against your skin. How does it feel? Can you smell the scent of the earth after the recent rain? Reach out and touch the stone wall that has weathered many countless seasons. What do you feel when you touch it? As you move your hand away from the wall, you see a rosemary bush growing at its base, and your fingers lightly brush across its leaves. As they do, its fragrance is released into the colder air. For centuries, rosemary has been associated with memory and remembrance. Inhale its scent. Does it awaken a memory for you? Perhaps a place, or someone who stood beside you. Maybe a quieter reminder of your own resilience. Whatever arises is welcome, and if nothing comes, that belongs here too. But you may find that something comes later, maybe the next time you see rosemary out in the world. You continue to breathe into your mindful anchor, sensing that this moment was somehow important, before your attention is gently drawn further into the winter garden. You continue along a stone path, each step connecting you a little more deeply within this place. As you reach the apple tree you looked at earlier, you look again at its bare branches, noticing how it makes their shape so easy to see when they're usually camouflaged by leaves, fruit. You notice now how there's a few small branches crossing one another, and one that has long since finished its work. There's a bench beyond it, and resting nearby are some garden tools. And you feel that that's an invitation to you. You move over to the bench and see what tools might be of any use. You notice that their wooden handles have been polished through years of careful use and care. Maybe lift some secateurs if they feel appropriate for you to use. As you return to the tree and look carefully at how you might help support it. You feel unhurried. The tree has been waiting all this time for you to come along. But when it feels right, and you can see easily where it's needed, you make just one careful cut. And you notice as the branch has finished its work, falls to the ground. The shape of the tree looks just a little clearer than before. And perhaps you reflect that sometimes what supports new growth is not adding more, but creating space for what is already alive. You rest your hand against the bark of the tree, connecting with the essence of the tree. How does the bark feel beneath your fingertips? You consider how every season this tree roots itself deeper into the earth. And whatever the weather, it continues to meet each season in turn, growing branches and leaves and conserving energy in the winter by withdrawing down into its roots. Maybe you ask the tree what lessons it holds for you. As you're standing there, a small, quick movement catches your eye, and you think you've seen a small dormouse emerging from the shelter at the old stone wall. Was that your imagination, or did it pause for a moment and wink at you with its whiskers twitching before it quietly disappeared beneath a tangle of ivy and fallen leaves? It's going about its work, renovating or reconstructing its nest, finding safety in its foundations that were laid long before today and long before your arrival. You feel touched at its greeting, knowing that beneath the wintry surface, there's much more life thriving in this garden. And you continue on along the path. Sometimes your hands are connecting with the wall, and sometimes you're moving further into the garden. Then your eyes are drawn to a part of the wall where you see that a coping stone has shifted slightly over time. It doesn't appear to be weakening the wall, but it is calling your attention. So you walk towards the wall. Standing closer to it now, you notice details that you couldn't see at first. You notice the lichen that's found its home up on the stone. Maybe tiny patches of moss that are softening the edges. You see how each stone bears the marks of countless winters, and yet together they remain strong. No two stones are exactly the same in colour or shape. And once again you reach out and rest your hand against the wall. Feel its temperature. And feel the stories that the stones hold. Maybe you reflect on its quiet strength and how it's not resisting time but living with it. The stone that caught your eye at first has shifted ever so slightly over the years. It's asking for a little care. And with both hands, you're able to settle it gently back into its original place. It fits so naturally. And you feel that solidity of the stone being back in the place where it has supported the wall for so long. And you wonder how many others perform these same small acts of care, repeated over many seasons. And also how you and your hands have today become the same part of that story. How you've instinctively contributed something small and quiet that may never be seen by others, but it still matters. Now it continues to support the wall. You look back at the garden and you can see the whole of the garden more clearly from here. You can see the sleeping beds beneath their winter covering. You can see the rosemary that's green and growing against the stone. You can see the apple tree that you visited, and others, gently shaped, ready for the season ahead. You can see the piles of leaves where the dormouse disappeared into. I wonder how many others are there. Maybe this makes you think about winter and the work that it asks of us, of conserving strength, protecting what is precious, or preparing for what lies ahead in the busier seasons. As you stand here breathing into your mindful anchor and enjoying the view of the still, quiet garden, a question is beginning to arise within you of how is your groundwork being laid? Perhaps it's through your conversations or a commitment that you've made, through a decision yet to be made, or through small acts of care that you repeat over time. Stay with that question as you look across the garden. In this clear winter light, perhaps you notice something else. With the shape of the whole garden being easier to see at this time of year. Without the fullness of spring or summer, you notice how its structure is revealed, just as the structure of the tree was. The paths are more visible. Boundary wall is clearer. The trees seem to stand taller. You notice how these feel like the bones that will quietly support new life when the wheel of the year turns and the next season returns. Sometimes winter also offers this gift in our own lives. Has there been a time for you when distractions have fallen away and you've been able to see what has been supporting you all along? Remain here for a few quiet breaths into your mindful anchor, seeing the garden exactly as it is in this season, and allowing it to meet you exactly as you are now. And recognizing that it will soon be time to leave, your attention returns to the secateurs, resting where you placed them. You move back to pick them up once more. There's a simple stone basin nearby, with water, clear and still. You dip the blades into the water, watching a little bit of the dust of winter drift away. And you find that there's a soft cloth beneath it, so you dry them carefully. You notice again how well they've been made. how carefully they've been maintained, and how many hands may have held them before yours. How many seasons they've quietly served. And when they are clean, you return them to where you found them, ready for another pair of hands that might visit this place. Maybe something within you feels deeply satisfied about caring for these tools that help us care for this natural world. You look again around the garden and see that it remains just as it always was as you arrived. The fragrance is the same. The apple tree is resting still in the peace of winter, and the old wall is sheltering all that grows within it. The dormouse has returned to its hidden home. Everything is belonging in its place. But you notice your own place within this landscape. You don't feel separate from it, but a part of it. And also a part of those people who cared for it before you. And those people who will come to care for it after you too. Allow yourself to rest in that feeling and whatever else it brings up for you. As you prepare to return, bring your attention back to your mindful anchor, and we'll take 3 breaths together. As you breathe in, remember gratitude for the steadiness of the earth beneath you. As you breathe out, release anything that no longer needs to be carried into the next season. Breathe in, remembering the quiet strength that has supported you. Breathe out, making space for one small, thoughtful action when its time arrives. Breathe in, trusting that what is prepared with care can endure. And breathe out, releasing the need to see every outcome before taking the next step. As your breathing returns to its own natural rhythm, reflect on if one question stays with you from this garden. It might be, how is the groundwork being laid? You don't need to have an answer now, but simply notice how life responds over the next days after doing this practice. As you breathe into your mindful anchor, you gradually become aware of the noises in the room that you're meditating in. You begin to reconnect with the support beneath your body, the temperature of the air against your skin. Bring a little movement back into your fingers. Stretch out your arms and wiggle your fingers. Stretch your legs and move your toes. If you close your eyes, allow them to open in their own time. As you return to the rhythm of your day, may the quiet wisdom of the stillness of winter remain with you, reminding you that those strongest foundations are often laid long before they can be seen. Thank you for joining me. Travel well, friends.